Here at CUNA, we are gearing up for what we expect to be a very busy 2016 on the regulatory side. Any time that it's the last year of an administration, it's always busier on the regulatory side. We see more things coming out of the federal agencies rather than through the legislative process. So one issue I want to talk about today is some of the things that we expect to be coming out of the CFPB. Last week, they announced that they will be holding a field hearing on checking accounts in Louisville, Kentucky on January 27th. So CUNA will be very closely following that field hearing for any impact of policy makings that may come out of it that will be impacting credit unions. We also are beginning to prepare for a SBREFA panel on overdraft protection rulemaking. And we believe this will be a very important opportunity for credit unions to weigh in on how any overdraft protection rulemaking may impact small businesses. This in the past has been a very important process of rulemaking to show CFPB how small businesses are impacted by their rulemakings. We also expect to see a final rule on prepaid cards in the first half of 2016, and we also expect to see a proposed rule on arbitration coming out of the CFPB in the first half of this year. Last but not least, we expect that the CFPB will be coming out with a proposed rule for payday and small dollar loans in late February or early March of 2016. And CUNA has been very involved in advocating that the CFPB should exempt credit unions from this rulemaking. We think that they should be focusing on the bad actors and not lumping in credit unions to this rulemaking. And actually, Ryan Donovan, our Chief Advocacy Officer, just published an op-ed in The Hill last Friday which mentions this issue, and I encourage everyone to go read that op-ed because he makes some very important points on behalf of credit unions. He urges the CFPB to consider the impact that their rulemakings have not only on credit unions but on consumers themselves, and how the rulemakings can actually limit access to credit. He encourages them not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and he has some very important points in it, so I would encourage everyone again to read that. One additional update that I wanted to bring your attention to is that last week the FCC filed their reply brief in the litigation challenging the FCC's CCPA order, which came out this past summer. And in their brief, the FCC challenges the arguments that have been brought forth that their rulemaking was arbitrary, capricious, and an abuse of their authority. As you probably remember, CUNA in early December filed an amicus brief in conjunction with the American Bankers Association and the Independent Community Bankers Association. And this was really the only filing that primarily concentrated on how this order impacts financial institutions. And we believe it was a very important component of the lawsuit because it will help, hopefully, we think, bring to the court's attention the negative impact that this could have on financial institutions and their customers and members. So we're going to be closely following this litigation. We're waiting for them to set the date for oral arguments, and CUNA will definitely be attending those and continuing to follow this closely.
So the NCUA has opened for comment their field of membership rule, which the comment period closes on February 8th. To date, we've seen well over 1,500 comment letters so far being put in by credit unions. The overwhelming majority of them are all favorable by credit unions. Also, 3 congressmen have chimed in support of the rule, so that's very positive. We have not seen a lot of banker comments yet, although we know that they've gone out to their membership, and I expect to see a flurry of those come in during the closing couple weeks here of the comment period. We know they're going to come in. We've already seen a lot of public comments from them. So we're asking credit unions, if you haven't put your comment letter in, please go do that. There's lots of places you can do that. We have a toolkit up on our website that has summaries and a letter writing guide and links to how you can file your comment letter. Many of the leagues are doing the same. They have resources out there for credit unions. It's a good opportunity to put your 2 cents in, and the board has asked for comments on specific sections, so we would ask that credit unions chime in on those areas. This is a favorable rule, and we can make it even more favorable for credit unions. Hope you will look to some of our resources to get your comment letter in. The NCUA's board meeting is coming up this Thursday. One note of interest is this will be the first meeting for Board Member McWaters after the announcement that President Obama has appointed him to the board of Exim Bank. So it'll be interesting to see if they make any statements regarding that, or if it changes the dynamic at all between the board members. On the agenda, there are actually 4 items for the public portion. The first is a final rule for the Office of Minority and Women Inclusion reporting structure. I anticipate this will be mostly housekeeping for the NCUA, where they're going to change the who the director reports to, change it from the executive director up to the board, I believe, although we haven't seen the final rule yet. This should bring it in line with what other agencies do with respect to this position, so it should be fairly non-controversial rulemaking for them. The other 3 items are really interrelated with each other, and it's the NCUA's 2017 to 2021 strategic plan, together with the overhead transfer rate methodology and the federal credit union operating fee methodology. Those are all really intertwined, and this follows up on Chairman Matz's promise to put the overhead transfer rate out for public comment. This is in advance of their 2017 budget that they will take up in November. This is largely seen as a positive sign to allow some more transparency with respect to the overhead transfer rate, which has been a big topic of discussion among credit unions. Other than that, there are 2 closed items on the agenda, mostly supervisory matters. And so we'll be present at the board meeting and looking to see how the NCUA moves forward. And if anybody wants to watch the meetings, the NCUA now live streams them on their website. You can just simply go to the NCUA website and click on where it says board actions, and you can find the link there. It's free, it doesn't require registration. You can just log in and watch the board meeting.